welcome back to my channel. It's always a pleasure to see you come back, and I'm also happy to see a couple new faces. If you're not already a part of this tight-knit community, be sure to hit that subscribe button so you'll always be notified as to when I upload a new video. Okay, without any further ado, let's just jump into today's video. So today's question is, so why do we need government if we do at all? So let's start from the very beginning, before there was any type of government body in place and man was responsible for their own livelihoods and survival/protection. This time frame is often referenced as the state of nature, which 17th century philosopher Thomas Hobbes believed that the natural condition of mankind is what would have existed if there were no government, no civilization, no laws, and no common power to restrain human nature. The state of nature is often referred to as war of all against all, in which human beings constantly seek to destroy each other in an incessant pursuit of power. Life in the state of nature is nasty, brutish, and short, in the words of Mr. Hobbes. So what Hobbes is trying to illustrate is basically a state of anarchy, where the individual is totally free and everyone in essence has the same rights. These rights resembling the protected rights that we already know so well. For instance, freedom of speech, freedom of religion, freedom to own property, freedom of movement, which is travel, freedom to tax, and freedom to imprison an individual. Yes, I said imprison. All of which any individual can accomplish on their own by their own means. But what happens when man's natural state of fear, insecurity, death, and turmoil begins to govern the individual? Who would be there to protect the individual from others who want to inflict a crime on them? Because all it takes is someone with better weapons and more resources to be able to rule over others. Thomas Hobbes was not the most optimistic person and believed that the natural state of humans was not always positive, like some philosophers at that time believed, like Jean Rousseau, who believed people were naturally independent and generally peaceful. Rather, Hobbes believed that human nature is not always good, but more often than not was left to be ruled by our most dangerous insecurities. Because of this, he thought it was necessary for individuals to give up some of their rights to a sovereign entity that would protect the interests of the people. Sometimes this is phrased as a social contract, but to keep it easy to understand, it is basically the consent to be ruled by a separate entity. Interestingly enough, he wrote one of the most notable pieces called the Leviathan, which is a metaphor for the state. The Leviathan is described as an artificial person whose body is made up of all the bodies of its citizens, who are the literal members of the Leviathan's body. The head of the Leviathan is the sovereign. The Leviathan is constructed through contract by people in the state of nature in order to escape the horrors of natural conditions. The power of the Leviathan protects from the abuses of one another. However, what is interesting about this piece is the fact that the Leviathan is actually a reference from the Bible for the name of a sea monster. As we can tell, Hobbes would not trust that the individuals could rule themselves effectively and would need a strong centralized government to do so. Unlike Rousseau, he didn't believe man was better off without government. So after these totally free, insecure, and detrimental individuals decided to give away some of their rights to a centralized political entity, they now have to decide what type of government they want next and how that government should rule, which is a subject we will touch and expand on in our next video. So with that being said, I want to hear from you. So let me know what you think about this subject in the comment box below. So if you liked anything that I had to say here today, make sure to like, share, and most importantly, subscribe. Be sure to follow me on my social media. The links to those accounts will be provided in the description box below. Again, I'm ElenaVe, and remember, always leave things better than how you found it. Bye.